Hello and welcome to What the F*** Just Happened Today, your essential guide to the daily shock and awe in national politics. I'm Joe Amditis. Let's get to it. It's Tuesday, April 25th, 2023. Welcome to day 826. Joe Biden formally announced his 2024 re-election campaign. Biden, who once pitched himself as the bridge to a new generation of Democratic leaders during his 2020 campaign, argued that the question we are facing is whether in the years ahead we have more freedom or less freedom, more rights or fewer, adding, "I know what I want the answer to be. This is not a time to be complacent. That's why I'm running for re-election." In a 3-minute video announcing his re-election, Biden cast Republicans as a danger to democracy who want to cut Social Security that you've paid for your entire life while cutting taxes for the very wealthy, dictating what healthcare decisions women can make, banning books, and telling people who they can love, all while making it more difficult for you to be able to vote.
Freedom, personal freedom, is fundamental to who we are as Americans.
There's nothing more important, nothing more sacred.
That's been the work of my first term, to fight for our democracy.
This shouldn't be a red or blue issue.
To protect our rights, to make sure that everyone in this country is treated equally and that everyone is given a fair shot at making it. But you know, around the country, MAGA extremists are lining up to take on those bedrock freedoms, cutting Social Security that you paid for your entire life while cutting taxes for the very wealthy, dictating what healthcare decisions women can make, banning books, and telling people who they can love, all while making it more difficult for you to be able to vote.
Biden, who would be 86 years old at the end of his second term, concluded his announcement by saying, "It's time to finish the job. Finish the job." Meanwhile, Biden threatened to veto a House Republican debt ceiling bill that would require spending cuts in order to raise the debt ceiling, calling it a reckless attempt to extract extreme concessions as a condition for the United States simply paying the bills it has already incurred. The Republican proposal would cut discretionary spending, repeal the Inflation Reduction Act's climate change tax credits, impose new welfare work requirements, and cancel Biden's student loan forgiveness plan. The White House has insisted that Republicans address the debt limit without demands and conditions, just as the Congress did 3 times during the previous administration, adding that Biden has been clear that he will not accept such attempts at hostage-taking. Still, if the proposal were to pass the full House, Chuck Schumer has already declared that it will be dead on arrival in the Democratic-controlled Senate. The U.S. risks defaulting on its national debt as soon as early summer if it doesn't increase the debt ceiling. Moving on, the U.S. Senate will vote on the Equal Rights Amendment this week, 100 years after the measure was first introduced. Chuck Schumer said the Equal Rights Amendment has never been as necessary and as urgent as it is today, citing the Supreme Court's decision to overturn Roe v. Wade, as well as efforts to limit access to the abortion pill mifepristone and state-level actions to roll back women's rights. Schumer said this is an ominous hour of American history. The proposed amendment to the Constitution would prohibit discrimination based on sex and guarantee that women have equal rights as men. Congress initially passed the ERA in 1972 and sent it to the states with a 7-year deadline for 38 states to ratify it. However, only 35 states had ratified the ERA by 1979, and the deadline was then extended until 1982. Virginia eventually became the 38th state to ratify the ERA in 2020, after Nevada in 2017 and Illinois in 2018. This means the Senate vote is largely symbolic since the deadline for ratification expired in 1982. And finally, Washington state banned the sale of assault-style weapons, becoming the 10th state to prohibit sales of AR-15s and dozens of other high-powered semi-automatic rifles. House Bill 1240 bans the sale, transfer, distribution, manufacture, and importation of 62 different assault weapons, and it imposes a 10-day waiting period on all firearms purchases and allows consumers to sue gun makers and retailers for irresponsible conduct. Several gun groups, however, have sued, saying the law violates the constitutional right to keep and bear arms. And in the polls, Axios says 70% of Americans believe Biden should not run for re-election. 60% of Americans, however, say Trump should also not run for president. CBS News says 54% of Democrats accept that Biden is running for re-election, 28% say they are confident, 27% are nervous, and 22% are excited. And NPR says 63% of Republicans want Trump to be the president again, even if he's found guilty of a crime. Overall, 71% of Republicans say they think Trump should be president again.
That's all for now. You can find the links and sources for all of these stories on the main website. And as always, visit whatthefjusthappenedtoday.com for the latest news and headlines. Until next time, I'm Joe Amditis.